As we mentioned earlier, Taiwan leading the way in the fight against the coronavirus. Taiwan reporting only about 500 cases of Covid-19, just 7 deaths. CNN's Paula Hancock explains what they got right.
Staying out of the midday sun seems more important than keeping 6 feet apart for these Taipei residents. The streets are busy, restaurants have lunchtime queues. Life during a pandemic appears fairly normal.
Now, one thing that does strike me here is that even though there are an awful lot of people wearing masks in the street, there is still a significant number who aren't. And I'm being told that a few months ago, when there were still local transmission cases here, that people wore masks without exception, without complaint. But now there is more of a confidence in the way that the government has handled this pandemic, and they simply don't feel the need anymore.
Just one suspected case of local transmission since mid-April. The rest are imported. Out of a population of 23 million, there have been around 500 confirmed cases and just 7 deaths. Foreign Minister Joseph Wu tells me they learned harsh lessons from the 2003 SARS outbreak.
At the time, Taiwan was hit very hard, and then we started building up our capacity in dealing with pandemic like this. So when we heard that there was some secret pneumonia cases in China, the patients were treated in isolation, we knew that it was something similar.
Early recognition of the crisis and suspicions that Beijing was not being transparent spurred the government to act fast, setting up a command centre. Passengers from Wuhan, China were screened from the start of the year, weeks before other countries started to react. Early travel restrictions, a 14-day quarantine for arrivals, contact tracing and testing. Mask rationing prevented panic buying, and Taiwan increased production to the point it was able to donate 12 million masks to the United States, lifting their world standing. Sil Chen was a college student in Taiwan during the SARS epidemic and says the country learned social solidarity.
I mean, very few people here will refuse to wear a mask.
Chen now runs a psychotherapy practice in New York. She caught a mild form of the virus there mid-March, spending 5 weeks recovering in her apartment.
At the time, I couldn't even get a test because I remember, I think the criteria was for you to have shortness of breath or difficulty breathing or some life-threatening situation.
Chen came back to Taiwan in July to visit her sick grandmother and was shocked by the difference in realities.
I mean, life here is so surreal. It's basically like normal. Like every so often you have to remember to wear a mask and you will have your temperature taken, but that's about it.
A snapshot of normality in a world of uncertainty. Paula Hancock, CNN, Taipei, Taiwan.
The US Gulf Coast can't catch a break this hurricane.